All right, y'all, let's get right into it, man. So I just wanted to like describe my experience being on both sides of like being lean and in shape versus not being in shape. Like it's night and day difference, right? A lot of people have always been, either chubby, fat. Like I've talked to a lot of people on the phone, they've been like, yeah, I've always been fat, chubby. And then I've talked to a lot of people who've been like, yeah, I always been skinny, man. I just can't gain weight, right? And then I know some people, some of my homeboys, they always been lean, so they've never really had any issues with like their life. As long as they stay lean, they stay locked in the gym, watch what they ate and stuff like that. They've always had good experiences. When they go out, like they've all had opportunities with modeling agencies. They've always had opportunities, better opportunities at work. They've always leveled up at work quicker. They've always been reached out to by companies for different collaborations. They've always had success with women, and they've never like dealt with anything like that. So I just wanted to share my experience because obviously when I first started, and I'll be making a like video of how I went from cooked to uncooked. I'll make a whole video on that. But like before, when I was super skinny, I promise you, like literally I swear I didn't exist, bro. That's why I used to be in my high school classroom. No one knew I existed until I would raise my hand, or the teacher would ask like, I don't know if this is right. Luther, is this right? Because I would have the highest grade in the class. You know what I mean? And every time they showed the highest grade in the class, everyone would literally people like everyone next to me would be like, "Who the fuck is Luther?" I'm like, "Bro, I'm sitting right here, bro." And they would look. I swear they would look like through me. So I assumed through all these experiences, like as I was in high school, I assumed that I was invisible. I was like, "Yo, no one can see me." Okay, cool. So let me just. That's actually part of what helped me like be comfortable being alone because it was like no one can see me anyways. I really don't exist. Like I literally do not exist. So I would just like read books and shit like that. But as far as like chicks, I already told you guys couldn't get a prom date. No hugs in high school, bro. I know people were getting hugs in high school and shit. No hugs in high school. If I ever made eye contact with a chick, they'd be like, "The fuck is that thing?" Like that's the kind of reactions I got, and most interactions with chick they were just very rude. Like if I had to be in a group with a chick, it's like, "Oh, team up with these two people," and then a chick gets left out and she has to team up with me, and she just be like, "Oh fuck," you know what I mean? Just very negative experiences, with women, and then dudes would always roast me and shit like that. Um, go out of their way to roast me basically because they knew I was cooked. So that was pretty much my experience. Family didn't really respect me that much because they're just like, yo, this dude isn't really going anywhere. He looks skinny, he looks shitty, right? That was my experience when I was like skinny and invisible. Just read books and just get ignored by everybody, you know. And like I said, if someone bumped into me at like a grocery store, they would just like if they did look at me, they'd be like, oh, like shudder. They would literally like shudder, or they just they would just not make eye contact. You know what I mean? Like just try not to look at me. Versus once I really put on that, like when I put on the first amount of muscle, man, like I went from 148 to 195, and I got I was getting clean cuts. I had some hair. I mean, my aura was up because I had more confidence, obviously. But people would approach me like in the gym. Of course, the guys approach you, they ask you questions and stuff like that. But chicks were way more receptive, way more choosing signals, way more eye contact. And I'm talking about not just like looking at you. I'm talking about 3 second eye contact. Obviously, that led to me being like the top trainer in the gym when I struggled with training when I was super skinny. Right, so everything changed night and day difference, and that's what you guys do not realize. But through the journey, I also realized like the reason it is respected so much because it's highly coveted and no one is in shape like that. You even get like super older guys like asking you. They'll be like, "Hey man, you look great, man. Like you look like Arnold Schwarzenegger, man. What do you do, man?" And they'll start a conversation, and then now you got a contact that's like some millionaire that knows billionaires, or yeah, you just get all these different contacts, but you get a lot more respect from everybody that you interact with. But as far as success specifically with women, because I know that's what a lot of you guys care about. I mean, holy shit, dude! It was night and day difference. Instead of me, you know, trying to message the chicks first, getting left on scene, getting left on red, getting left on delivered, or getting screenshotted on Snapchat, just for saying hey or some shit like that. And then post on the story like I hate when ugly niggas, screen message me first, like shit like that. Getting a lot of disrespect like that to literally chicks sending me hard eyes and being like, "Hey, I want to meet you. Hey, this, that." Like all of that stuff. "Hey, I'll fly out to you. Hey, I'll fly you out. Hey, like, oh my God, you look amazing." And chicks approaching me in person and shit like that. Because at the end of the day, appearance is what drives genuine desire. So if you are someone who is cooked and you're like, "No, I still get chicks," you might be like leading with, money or something like that. So the chick's like, "Ah, fuck it. He's gonna pay for a trip. Okay, I'll go so I can get pictures, but I'm not attracted to him," that kind of thing. What drives that genuine, that strong desire that chicks have. Like it's night and day difference how they treat you, and you can feel how they feel. Like you can feel how much they're like into you when you are in shape. It's way different, guys. And then dudes respect you way more too. Like all the time. Like you go to you go to the gym and you like when I was skinny, I used to go to the gym and go to up to a machine. People would look at me like, I'm using this, bro. Now, bro, when I go to the machines and I'm using it and someone else is using it, they'll come over and I'll be like, "Oh, you're using this?" They'll be like, "No, no, you good, bro. You good, man." Like I remember I went to one of the first times this happened. Now I was like 210 and I was like I had a pump. I was 210. I had a pump. Me and my brother were working at the UF gym, right? And I was trying to do cables. So I walked up to this like this like skinny dude, right? Walked up to like the skinny white dude. I was like, "Hey, you using this?" He's like, bro, like you're good, bro. Like this is all yours, man." Like, and I was like, "No, well, you were using it, right? You had like more sets." He's like, "Bro, like you're all good, bro. Like, hey, man, like keep going, man. You look swole, bro. You're like all good, bro. Awesome." And he just like walked away. I was like, "What the fuck?" But yeah, man, like people treat you differently because you are different. To be honest, like when you are lean and locked in, that means you're watching what you eat, which means you're not a normal person. Because normal people don't watch what they eat. That means you're consistent in the gym and you have goals. Most people aren't consistent in the gym. Most people don't have goals, right? That is why you're different. You are different. All right, you are right, and you're rare. So I know a lot of people watch this video. They're like, "Oh, it's not that." Then why aren't you lean? Then why don't you have muscle? So shut the fuck up, right? The average person does not look around. I want you guys to look around. You don't want to look around? Well, you don't have to. I'll look around for you. It's cooked out here. All right. People are not locked in. BCD rates are going up. You know what I'm saying? Even people in the gym aren't lean. Like that's how like people rarely go to the gym, but even people in the gym are not lean. Even people in the gym don't have muscle mass. That is how cooked we are as a society. So that is exactly why there's a significant difference. And a lot of times when like when I was invisible, skinny as shit, obviously I was not even a chick's last option, bro. Like I wasn't the option because you got to remember, like chicks only see the top 10% of dudes. That's why they're always like, yeah, all dudes are rich because they're only seeing them. Like if you're cooked, they don't see you. They do not see you. You don't register in their brain as a potential option. You're not even the last option. You see what I'm saying? So I went from not being an option at all to like being the first option in some situations because you got to realize, man, like if a chick if a chick dates you and you got abs, you feel me, and you got that sex appeal because sex appeal comes from the body. Obviously, it comes from your aura too, but it's very hard to be fat as shit and have. Well, let me not be nice. I'm always being nice to you guys. You're not gonna look like Biggie Small and have fucking sex appeal. All right, a lot of you guys are fat as shit and you want sex appeal. You're not gonna have it. You can be skinny lean and have some sex appeal, but like good shoulder waist ratio. But you can't be skinny and have sex appeal with no muscle. It's not gonna happen. All right, if you're skinny fat, no, it's not gonna happen. All right, so like that physique is where sex appeal comes from. I mean, and like I said, all of this shit is just subjective. It's not really opinionated. It's just why do you think chicks go to Vegas and all that shit? Why do you think chicks read those fantasy books? You know what I'm saying, with that swole dude on the front type shit. Like it is what it is. But that's where the sex appeal comes from. So a lot of times you're gonna become her first option because you turn her on more than anybody else just with your physique, just with your energy. You see what I'm saying? Another thing like working out consistently and eating healthy does. Because a lot of you guys in the comments, I know what part of the journey someone's in, depending on what they ask in the comments. Because if you ask, like, people who ask dumb shit like, wait, can't I just fast for like, 4 days straight and then jump on keto and then eat regular and then jump on keto? Like, I know you're early in your journey and you're probably fat as shit and you're nowhere near your goals right now just because of that mindset. Like, when you go through this process, you become so patient because all you do is delay gratification. So then you have a more calm, focused aura, right? So chicks, they tend to notice this aura too, and that's another thing. Like, you start and you get more comfortable around chicks, anyways. But like, you have a more disciplined, calm, focused aura. And another thing is just the fact that like I went from when I was invisible, like obviously interactions with regular people on a daily basis was non-existent, versus getting choosing signals from like cashiers, getting choosing signals in grocery stores, at the gym, getting approached at the gym, getting approached at grocery stores, getting compliments at grocery stores. Yo, listen. I knew I was him when I was getting roasted by my brother because I kept coughing because I had fucking COVID and I was dying. I was literally dying, bro. I look cooked, right? I look so cooked, bro. And I was like, fuck, I didn't get a haircut. My beard was all over the place. I was like, fuck. And then So I went to Walgreens. I was like, bro, I swear if someone sees me, bro, I was like, I hope none of my followers see me or nobody sees me. And I walked by like some chick with a small waist and a fat ass. I was like, damn, hopefully she doesn't look at me. Do not look at me. And then she looked at me, so I looked at her, you know what I mean? And she's like, oh my God, like you just you're so handsome. And I was so dead. Bro, I did not say anything back because my mouth was so dry, bro. I was just like, but yeah, man, I knew I was him at that point. I was like, yo, I'm Himothy, bro. Now I was wearing, a raw shirt, a raw nutrition shirt. But anyways, like that's the kind of interactions that happen because like I said, you're invisible before and then you start getting like compliments and you get better interactions with women. So then you're more confident talking to chicks because you've had positive experiences versus when you're invisible, and you try to talk to chicks, you get bad experiences. Like if you have a Chad cold approach versus someone who's cooked cold approach, obviously, the Chad is gonna be, better. And I'm talking if you have two people who are 5'9", one of them is 5'9" and lean, in good shape, has a haircut. The other one is 5'9", out of shape, doesn't have a haircut. The one with the haircut that's in shape is gonna get better responses cold approaching. Period. It is what it is. All right, it's that simple. It's not that deep. But anyways, y'all, man, if you locked in, man, you ready to get lean, man. Link is in the description, man. You already know the drill, man. Stay locked in, fellas.